Hey, how are you?
Good morning, sir.
So nice to meet you.
Good morning, ma'am.
Sorry,
I'm
what's your
Jamie
name?
Bain.
Jane?
Jamie.
Jamie, nice
and
to meet
I'm
you.
the service chief for prosthetics and orthotics.
Okay.
So what we're known for is rapid turnaround.
Yeah.
So we got to return them to duty. So to make a prosthetic limb, we start out with casting them.
Okay.
So we use old school plaster repairs. It gets the job done the best.
Okay.
And then our certified prosthetists, orthotists go into a lab. They pour it with plaster. It makes a mold, and we actually modify that. So
Okay.
we have to take away plaster and add in areas where they're bony. And then we make their first check socket. This is the first socket, and that's what goes up against their limb.
And what's this made of?
This is actually made of plastic, and so
Okay.
we can heat and change it.
Wait, so you'll use the plaster basically to make a mold of their leg.
Exactly.
And then you start, okay.
And then
got
we
it.
pour it, and it makes a positive model.
I see.
And then we use rasps to actually take that off.
Okay.
And then we get them in this plastic socket. So that's what's actually on them.
Sure.
And then, of course, everything underneath is a Lego that we put together.
Okay.
We
Wow.
can do that in an hour and a half.
Wait,
That's
you can,
amazing.
you can go from this to this in an hour and a half?
We can.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so we have a very skilled team of technicians that help us out because we've got lots of patients. So
Sure.
as a clinician, we do that. So a patient will stay in this socket for a period of time, a couple weeks to a few, maybe 2 months. Once their limb has stabilized, meaning they're not changing volume,
Yeah.
we can finally get them in the socket they want, which is the carbon fiber sockets right there.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they're
And do they
much
get to-
lighter.
When you say changing volume, you mean like their leg just responds to having the cast on?
So their actual limb starts out very, very big, and then as they go through their rehab process, it shrinks down.
I see.
We have the ability, because we're right down the hallway, as soon as they lose the fit of the socket, meaning they're moving around in it, we can recast them and get them up in an hour and a half and back to therapy.
Okay.
And then we do orthotics to return patients to duty. So we have the IDEO. The IDEO is a return to duty AFO. So all that means is ankle foot orthosis. So think you have your limb still, but it's not working how you want it to. And so that is jumping out of airplanes, jumping out of helicopters, whatever
Yeah.
you need to do. Everything breaks, we'll be honest with you.
Okay.
So we can repair that in-house here as
Yeah.
well.
So,
And then
so how many of because as a person's leg, for example, shrinks down, how many casts will you go through before you get to like something more permanent?
That's a great question. So depending on the patient and
Yeah.
how they were injured, Sam behind us.
Hey Sam, how you doing?
Sam will joke that he was in one socket for so long he didn't have that big shrink.
Okay.
But most of our amputees, they could go anywhere from maybe 5. And some patients
Wow.
who have invaginations, burns, some comorbidities that led to maybe nerve damage, they could be up to 15 to 20.
Jeez. Okay.
It just all depends on their situation, but because we have that PT and OT right here, we can get things done faster
Yeah.
and get them moving quicker.
And do people get to choose what it looks like?
Yeah, so they can do camo, they can do whatever they want. You get a t-shirt, and our technical team actually does that specific. Some of our patients, we put things on the inside because sometimes it's not really good with the uniform when you want your flames.
Oh, I see.
So we try to hide them on the inside, so you can have your personality on the inside, but still
okay.
meet the requirements for your uniform.
That's awesome.
And then last but not least, our upper extremity program. Upper extremity is very difficult to replace. And
Sure.
to be honest with you, it's still just a tool. The most well-known upper extremity device is the myoelectric. So using electrodes inside the socket, it reads the muscle signals of the muscles that are still intact.
Yeah.
And so the patient is trained with OT to fire those muscles or think about opening and closing their hand
Okay.
they're missing.
So it's not a replacement as much as just something they can kind of learn.
Exactly.
So
So you
they still have access to.
can't.
And this one
feel-
will open and close.
Exactly.
Oh, interesting.
And you can program it. So this one is just right now, it's for rotation as an example. But
Okay.
on the inside of these sockets is really where all the hard work goes into. And so inside that socket is batteries, wires. It's about 16 hours of work to fabricate this.
Okay.
But because we do it all in-house, we can control it and get it done.
Sure.
Yeah.
And do artists help with the crafting of the hands? Or how do you-
Absolutely, ma'am. So that is actually someone who comes in and hand paints that for us. The patients will sit and, yes, it's function, but it's also some fashion in the sense of if you lost your tattoo when you were in an IED blast
Sure.
and that tattoo was for somebody else,
Yeah.
it's very important to them. And our artists will actually put the tattoo back onto the limb.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very important for returning someone not only to, if the mission is going back to the military, but if they cannot go back to that mission due to their injuries, they're going to find a new mission, and that's going to carry them there.
Sure, sure. Okay. And so you guys have the technology in-house to do all this stuff?
We do.
Okay. And that has to be relatively recent. I mean, I don't think that we had this 20 years ago, did we?
We actually did.
Okay, really? Okay.
Technology, so in prosthetics and orthotics, that's where we get our technology, all the research, and
Sure.
I can tell you almost every single amputee in this room has broken a new top-of-the-line item so that it could be better and meet the needs for active duty. So yeah, the prosthetic knees that you see here, these are all made and FDA approved, but we set them up, align them, and then our patients figure out how to break them so that we can tell the companies, hey, you said it was return to duty, but somebody figured out it's not.
Oh, okay.
And we work with them to make sure that it meets our needs.
Got it.
And will people need multiple prosthetic limbs for different purposes?
They will. So we always make sure that we are meeting their goals and the mission's goals. So obviously running.
Yeah.
Sam. Case in point. But keep in mind, people have children. And if you're bilateral upper or below bilateral above knee amputee, and you want to get on the floor with your children, it's not always easy to get on the floor with your children with 2 full setups. And so sometimes we'll do shorties, where they have a socket, and then they have a very short foot right underneath them, so they're actually at the level of their children and can play.
That's interesting.
awesome.
Okay.
But with that being said, a lot of our bilateral above knee amputees, they had very short limbs, burns and vaginations, made it very difficult to fit a prosthesis, and more so meaning that socket design. So some of those patients have now moved to osseointegration.
Okay, so that is integrated into the...
You got it, ma'am. So we like to show our famous 3D printed bone.
Okay.
This is actually heterotopic ossification. So this
What
is
does that mean?
This is bone that grows into soft tissue. So trauma.
Okay.
Even if you get a hip surgery, this could happen to someone, a car accident. It's not just our patients, but it's very, very common in our patients.
Okay.
This leads to a lot of fit issues, if you can imagine, inside a socket.
Yep.
We heat relieve as much as we can, but ultimately, sometimes a socket's just not going to work well.
Sure.
And so our orthopedic surgeons, they take this abutment and they implant it into the actual femur, humerus, or even the lower
Wow.
extremity. And then the prosthesis goes right here. So there's an adapter that this goes into.
Yep.
Okay. We always say lefty loosey, righty tighty, pops out, and then the leg goes underneath.
Okay.
For our bilateral above knee amputees, it meant spending more time in the wheelchair or less time in the wheelchair.
Sure.
And most of them will tell you they've regained a lot of their independence. For upper extremity amputees, they were going from maybe 1 to 2 hours of wear time for their arm to 18 to 24 hours a day.
Wow. That's a huge improvement. That's a huge improvement.
Huge improvement. So there's that technology.
And this is stainless steel, I assume, or I mean, does the body respond well to this?
Yeah,
It
so
does?
we
Okay.
have really good outcome measures from it.
That's great.
We've been doing it here for roughly 7
Yeah, it
years.
is.
But yeah, so the funny thing about that is once you have this, once it's a part of your skeletal system, it helps negate that weight of the prosthesis. Prosthesis is supposed to
balances it? Is that what happens?
Exactly.
Okay.
Because when you have a prosthesis, it's supposed to be approximately how much that limb weighed.
Yeah.
So when it's attached to the skeletal system and has a good suspension system, it helps with
Sure.
that.
Well, thank you, Jamie.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Very
Very
nice
nice to meet you.
to meet
And
you.
congratulations.
Thank you. Thanksgiving.
Good luck.
Thanksgiving.
Okay, good luck.
Appreciate it.
How are you?
You made it. You didn't go into labor.
Can you explain what he is on and why?
Yeah, so he's on our track that goes all the way around.
Okay.
And the real clinic setting, we have him running around the whole track.
Yeah.
It is a little loud, but he's been
Okay.
doing more things in
I'm sorry to
place.
screw up your workout.
Yeah, but it's essentially just kind of for safety wise. This is a new socket, style of socket that he's wearing. So this harness just so he feels safe and can run fully without kind of fear of falling.
Sure.
And then once he feels comfortable there, get him out
Okay.
running on.
You said Sam?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when were you injured?
I was injured this February on the 17th in boot camp.
Okay. sorry to hear that.
Oh, no worries, guys.
Yeah.
Fine.
So you've had this for how long now?
So I've had a few legs now, but I think my first leg I got this about late March. That's when I first kind of started walking.
Okay.
But yeah, no. So for a little bit, I was just having some issues with like some socket. So I think she mentioned it earlier. Kind of everybody has their little moment. I was having a lot of fluctuation.
Okay.
And so I finally got getting better with the sockets. I'm just getting back into running again.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I did it before.
You look very comfortable with it. Like
It's very
looks-
comfy.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Sometimes might not drive, but it's awesome.
Okay. So you've definitely, I mean, you've gotten used to it at this point.
Yeah, a little bit. No, learn how to run again. I'm not like the best at it, but it's still fun.
Sure.
It's good to be back in there.
Were you a big runner before you got
A
injured?
little bit, yeah. Running was probably one of my favorite things. Because I did track in high school for maybe like 3 years.
Okay.
So it's fun.
Yeah.
It looks like Nike might make this one, is that right?
Yeah, this is a Nike made. Like, I don't know about all of them, all the brands that make them, but this is
Sure.
a fun one. I've tried one other one, but the Nike has a good kind of recoil, if you want to call
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I was going to ask whether you have to get used to the spring that it has. and
Yeah,
it-
because other legs, I'm sure you've seen it with other ones. They don't have like a bounce to it, so they're nice and flat. This one has a little bounce,
Okay.
so it's a nice little. When you run, it actually propels you. So it's very fun.
Okay. So do you find you get more like propulsion out
I'd
of
say-
your right leg than the left? Okay.
If I had to learn it a little bit, I could probably run faster than my prime. I'll give it that.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean,
That'll be
if you see
exciting.
Olympics, they run faster than
Yeah.
people.
Okay. Yeah, that's fascinating.
I'm hoping to watch actually this year because I'd heard that fact.
really?
I didn't
Yeah.
realize that, so I'm
No,
going
Yeah.
to check out a
Paralympics
couple
is
of
a
the
cool
races.
thing.
In March,
Trying to
right?
enter.
Or
Yeah,
next year?
the Paralympics is after the Olympics, and the
Got it.
speeds are kind of insane.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
So
they're fast.
so what's your plan, man? Are you how much longer are you here for? What do you plan to do afterwards?
I don't know how far I'm going to be here for. I know that I'm trying to return to active duty in the Coast Guard.
amazing.
Absolutely. I'm trying to go, and I joined to do aviation, so that's what I'm trying to go into again.
Okay.
And so once I'm done here, I would hope around maybe mid-April, because that's when my med board starts. So I would hope that once that starts, I can get cleared for active duty again and
Okay.
go into that.
So you're trying to do as much sort of physical therapy, get as much out of this, and then mid-April you do the
Absolutely.
med boards, and then hopefully back to active duty.
Yeah, so I reluctantly agreed to do a few marathons during this time. So I was in the hospital and
That
decided
is
to.
wild.
I signed
Coast
up to
Guard
do
marathon.
Yeah, I signed up to the Coast Guard Marathon April 10th, guys. So
Oh man,
So that's what you're training for right now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you done a marathon before boot camp?
no, I've done an Army 10 miler. I've done a 5K so far. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
So it's a big step.
Just like punish yourself as much as possible before your med boards.
It only